Well, welcome everybody to Thursday's call. So we are here with Chris Harden, and he's going to talk about his business that he has called Book Me Solid. And I do want to say one thing before I let him take over. I saw him through Wendy, and I got a couple listings. So I was like, all right, Chris, go ahead, do your thing with the listings. And he showed me how it worked. And I'm going to say I did not expect to get so many notifications and so many people coming in talking to me about how he set it up. I was overwhelmed. Even my assistant was like, Carrie, I'm going to have to shut my phone off for a minute because people just keep coming in about this house. And I'm like, I know, but that's the point. Get your fingers ready and start texting them back. So the overwhelm was fantastic. I was not expecting that type of lead gen coming in. So with that being said, I will let Chris take over.
Yeah, thanks for the invite and thanks for letting me spread the word. So basically, I've been doing messenger marketing for 6 years now, and it is still the cheapest, fastest way to get into a conversation. So that's what we're going to talk about, show and tell today. So let's see, where's that bar is in the way. Can y'all see? Okay.
Yep, we can see.
Cool. So over here on the right side is an example of what the ad looks like. And the way you can think of it is it's like a virtual open house. It's an open house. You don't have to go sit out. You don't have to set up signs. You don't have to do any of that stuff. All you got to do is fill out a form and it goes online 24 hours or less. But basically, whenever somebody clicks learn more, it starts a conversation with them, you and them, your business page and them. So if you scan that right there, you'll see what that looks like. I'll leave that up for a minute, and as people start scanning it, I'll go to my inbox and show you what it looks like. And then if you want, I'll show you how to build a basic ad that doesn't have follow-up, but something to just get you started. And then you can always get more advanced with the follow-up. But like you said, it requires follow-up. So it looks like we got Sherry Berry. That's a cool name. All right, I'll move on. I'll hop into my inbox and show you what that looks like. So what I've found is people are distracted and busy and all the things. So when I first started this, I only had one follow-up question. I had a multiple choice option. What I've found is if I follow up multiple times, over the next 24 hours, I follow up 6 times automatically. It makes people rise to the top a lot more so I have to do less legwork. So you can see Sherry Berry, and then that follow-up will hit her in just a second. So that's the initial one. If Sherry does not reply to that message, it will continue to follow up with her over the next 24 hours a few times. And here's what that follow-up looks like. So it's specific to the house and the features. So like this one, are you looking for homes with 2, 3, or 4? Because this one is a condo. And then are you looking for homes with a community pool? Because this one has a community pool. Looking for homes near downtown Nashville. This one's right downtown Nashville. Are you looking for a home with a view? This one's got a killer view. So it's asking questions specific to that listing, if that makes sense. And Sherry just replied. So because she replied, that follow-up sequence won't continue on. But that in a nutshell is how that works. From this side of things, I can go in and show you. Basically, whenever you set up a Facebook ad, you have a bunch of different objectives. I use Messenger to start that conversation. So here you can see that we got messaging selected. And you can see I got like the business page, and then I've got the budget, and I've got the location. I just leave it open. I found that if I leave it open, it works a lot better. And then I do manual placement. I only run it on mobile. I don't run it on desktop at all. And I only run it on Facebook. because I found Instagram is great for engagement, but not so much for people buying houses. They do engage with video a lot more so on Instagram, but starting conversations definitely happens easier on Facebook. And you can kind of see my settings here. I'm kind of bare minimum. I uncheck everything except for stories, reels, and then the news feed. The news feed gets the most action. You can see this is not really that big of an audience. I try to have a million or so audience. This is a 15-mile radius because with Facebook, they make you do a minimum of 15-mile radius. Typically, I go a little bit further than that, but he doesn't want to. So that's what that is. And then on this side, I use a third-party tool to automate that conversation. So you can see over here, I've got it where it starts a new conversation. Basically, it's using this keyword, view Nash condo details, to launch that conversation. So here's what this looks like on the back end of it.
That looks like a big old mess right there.
It does, but it's not that bad.
Right.
So you can see we got that keyword, and basically when they click that keyword, it gives them the message, it gives them the details, and then it continues to follow up. So it's got my initial follow-up message here that we saw. And then it's just got some delays to continue to follow up. So basically these are fill in the blank questions. And if it doesn't get a response, then within this set time frame, it will ask the next question and the next question and the next question. So that's a newer listing. If I go look at a different one, you can see same stuff, but you can see what they responded, you know. And a lot of people are going to say curious, but you have to go for yes, no, go away. Curious doesn't cut it, which I'm sure y'all talk a lot about that. But yeah, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. I have training. I have the Launchpad training. If anybody wants that, that will show you more how it works and what you should say for follow up. That's just good in general for any kind of online lead follow up. I know a lot of people go blank. You know, it's great when people are coming at you, but when you don't know what to say, you know, you don't reply, you don't respond. So if you do the Launchpad, you'll have more insights on what to say and how to say it. But basically, the whole goal of it is start a conversation and let them weed themselves out as fast as possible.
Yeah, I love that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I wasn't expecting, once you made my first listing live, I wasn't expecting so many people to start coming in and responding to it. And I was like, holy, what do I do? What do I do? And you're like, just let it run, let them answer the questions and then take over. I was like, all right. But I was very overwhelmed at first. And then I was like, oh, I love all these people coming in talking to me because that's what we want, conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different way to get leads, but the coolest thing about Messenger is you're only chasing on one channel. You're not
Right.
having to try to find a phone number. You're not texting, emailing, doing all the things. The way I like to think of it is if I'm in a moving vehicle, why would I jump out? And that's what they think too. Like they're just scrolling Facebook. Why would they jump over and answer the phone when it rings? Who does that, you know?
Right, you're meeting them where they're at. So if they're texting with you, you just follow up and keep texting back with them and have that conversation via Messenger because that's where you found them. I like that.
Yeah, I consider it a faster filter. A lot of people ask, can you get it into your CRM? Absolutely you can, but I would not until you have a meaningful conversation. You don't want just anybody in your CRM to just say, I have more people in my CRM, because a lot of them have no intent to buy ever, or they're just not in a great space. So it's better
Right.
to have that conversation, then put them in there. And the whole point of a CRM is to tell you what to do and when to do it, not just
Yep.
to dump everybody in there and hope things work out one day.
Exactly. Yeah. When they started engaging with me and I found them to be an actual buyer, that's when I would manually just add them into my CRM, which took me literally seconds to do. So it wasn't a big deal for me.
Yep. Well, very cool. Does anybody have any questions? This is what the launch pad looks like whenever you sign up for it. It's got 6 parts. And basically, like that first one is Chris just scrolling through his inbox, following up with people and telling you what he's thinking in his head when he's doing it. The number 4 down there, Charles, is a broker here in Georgia, and it was basically a training for his people. We recorded it, and I was like, that'd be a different perspective, versus the agent's perspective, because he gets a little deeper into that mindset stuff that most people are like, afraid to talk to people for some reason.
Right, right.
um, but yeah, so that's easy peasy in a nutshell. I do have bookmesolid.com, but we recently changed it to launchmylisting.com because it makes more sense. Bookmesolid.com, I basically converted into a virtual, what do you call it, business card, which is kind of neat. It makes more sense with that name, and it's like anything, things evolve over time. So that's
Right.
what we evolved to here recently in the last couple months, which I'm very surprised that I got it.
Absolutely. Who has questions for Chris? I know somebody does. I know Isabel loves to ask questions. Isabel, where's your questions?
Give me a minute to think.
How much is this?
So it's $300 a listing plus your ad spend. I recommend $15 a day or more for ad spend, and then ManyChat is $15 a month. And basically, it's like an email list. As it gets bigger, it costs more, but you can always unsubscribe people and keep that at a minimum cost. And if you have a pretty good relationship with your lender, you can say, hey, you pay for this and I'll pay for ad spend. A lot of people work it that way.
Yeah, that would be great, especially with the ad spend. Like Chris said, you can start off, the minimum at 15, but I don't remember what my ad spend was, but it wasn't crazy high. And like I said, was so overwhelmed with the amount of people engaging. So that would be a great thing to partner with your lender with.
Absolutely. Would y'all like me to hop into an inbox and talk to people? Because that's kind of what I was doing before. These are newer people, and I was kind of showing them what to.
Yeah, show them a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah.
So once we give you a listing, how soon do you get it up and going for us?
I get it up within 24 hours. We do an onboarding, and the onboarding takes you about 15 minutes. And basically, that just gives me admin access to your page, your ad account, and your ManyChat. And then after that, I can get it up same day, most cases. So you can see this one's still running the automation. It's got a few more questions to go, and it spreads it out over 23 hours. So let's go down here and just see kind of where they're at. So see here, they didn't click the message button, that keyword. They just chimed in. So it broke the conversation. Just need a low income. So he doesn't necessarily want that. So we're just going to trash can that. So he's in Franklin, like everything's 800 and up for the most part. Let's see how this one's going. So you can see like real conversation.
I'm gonna say she's a lengthy conversation.
Yeah, those are the best. So pretty much this listing, I don't really have the time or energy for a fixer upper. So they said what they want, You're the listing agent for this one. I'll put a tour for Sunday. So I guess he was doing an open house. And they already went under contract. That one sold
I
really.
have another question too.
Yes.
Yeah, when it's time to give the homeowner an update on the marketing statistics, how can you show them that information?
So you just tell me when you want it, and I'll send you a screenshot. Basically, here's the way you digest it. So if you do for the month, do for the month. And basically the way you read this is how many conversations they had. So this is how many people walked in the door. This is how much it costs per person to walk in the door. This one just started yesterday, so we only spent $8 so far. But 273 people saw it. Out of those 273 people, a couple of them saw it twice. So that's what impressions is. That's why the impressions is more than the reach. And out of those, 4 people requested info so far. So like this one, this Hillside Drive, I think that was like 1.2 million or something like that. He can say, hey, we got it out to almost 5,000 people. They saw it almost twice. This is what I spent to get somebody in the door, $350. And we had 56 conversations. And on his end, he spent $200 in ad spend. But you can see like this one's not in a great area. I mean, I thought it was a great area. It's Murfreesboro, Tennessee, like right outside of Nashville. But for some reason, that one has been way more expensive. So we just kind of reflect on that. But most people are in the general, 15, 20-minute radius of where they live. That's a little bit outside his range. Like he went an hour for that listing. So he's not necessarily mad if he doesn't have to go back over there. But that's how you would report on it. I like to do it on the phone because it just looks nicer. So I would just take a screenshot and send it to you that way because I use the mobile app, the mobile meta ads manager.
Do you have a sample of what that might look like?
Yeah, I can do it now. So we'll do that hillside one. And then I will airdrop it to myself. So it should pop up. There we go. So it just looks like this.
Oh yeah, it does look a lot nicer that way.
Yeah, it's simpler and easier to explain.
Yeah,
And
no,
you'll
that's
just-
awesome.
you'll
And
just go ahead.
are you using the Facebook ads app, or what are you using to get that?
It's the Facebook ads app on your phone. I have an iPhone.
Okay.
But
All
it
right.
works the same on any phone. But it just
Okay.
reads so much clearer. And then, I mean, you could actually do previews too. Like I would give them what does the ad actually look like too, which would look like that, So what I do when I build it out, I send you an example of that before it goes pending. And then if you want one at the end, once it's got like all the social proof and stuff, I can give that to you too. And you can put it in your presentation.
Yeah, I like that. That's super awesome.
So what are y'all doing now on the paid side of things to get your listings out a little bit more so? Or I guess, are y'all mixed room? Or some of y'all listing agents and some buyers agents, or some do both? Or like what's
I think everyone's a
currently
mixture
look like?
on here.
I mean, either way, like if you're a buyer's agent, you still need a listing to start a conversation. So it's
Yeah.
easy to borrow one. Just think of that as instead of you going to kill your weekend there, send them an email. Hey, can I use this? Can I promote this to generate some leads and maybe bring you a buyer? Like that's my favorite email. And people are a lot more open to it now. I even reach outside of my brokerage for the simple fact, why not?
No, I agree. Linda, do you have a question?
Yes, was a little late. So when signing up for this, I just signed up for something that was free. What does that do? Just the introduction to
Uh,
launch?
This is the training, the launch pad. It shows you more what the inside looks like, helps you set your expectations, see what you actually have to do to convert one.
So when I sign up, I haven't gone to my email yet. I go to this launch pad. All of these trainings are accessible, will be
Yeah.
accessible, or
Yep. When you scan this, you should get this page. And when you fill that out,
yeah.
it redirects you, but you'll also get an email and you just click that button and it should take you right in there. You don't have to
Okay.
remember the
So
login.
kind of just go through the training and then
If you go through the training, it'll give you the inside outs and help you set the expectation of what you need to do to convert.
okay, thank you.
Yep. So that's what the inside looks like.
And how many photos do you require to get this launched?
4. So I do the front, the back, the owner suite, and then I do like the living area. Sometimes I do the kitchen, sometimes I don't. But typically that's the 4 that I use. If you have a video, I can use a video as well. It costs a little different to do video. It's cool locally to just like get that video out there. But if you have a multi-million-dollar listing, I would do video because a lot of people watch the video and not necessarily click on Messenger. So you won't have as many to filter through at that higher price point because they just want to see the inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because kind of the goal is to have a listing that's just out of reach so that they can say, oh, that's out of my budget. And you can say, what is your budget?
Right, just to get that conversation going.
Mm-hmm. And then basically you can say, well, cool, who gave you that budget? You know, have you spoke with a lender to help you set that? And that's always the conversation I go for is like, have you spoke with a lender to get the real numbers? Cool, let me introduce you to one. And basically say, hey, I'm going to introduce you via text. What's a good number? And then you just do a 3-way text. And the cool thing about that, now you got accountability. It's like, hey, Bob, I'm sending Sally over here. And we're in a 3-way text, right? So I can follow up with Bob and be like, what's going on? I can follow up with Sally separately. And that way, when it's in a 3-way, we know something's happening.
Yep, I love that. Are there any
guess-
other questions?
Yeah, I'm a little confused on the cost of it. So it's $300 per listing, correct?
Correct.
And then $15 a month,
Yes. So
and then plus your ad spend.
correct. The $15 a month is for ManyChat, this tool that we automate it with. And that's kind of the secret sauce. This is what saves you all the time because it's going to follow up 6 times for you to get that conversation going. So instead of you manually following up and getting nothing and then coming back and doing it again and doing it again, like I recommend go till you get a response. I get a yes, a no, or go away. And if you're willing to do that, you'll convert at even a higher rate. But I do the first 6 for you automatically with automation. So that example that we're looking at, you can see like they bid on the first one. Like they bid right there. Some of them won't bite until 2 or 3 down, you know? So like this one, they said, no, they're actually looking at condos. But he needs to follow up. This is Friday. This is Thursday. That's typical though. Most people, like if you're not going to follow up, it's not a good option. But the cool thing about Messenger is they're always coming back and it's ongoing conversation. There's nothing urgent about it because they do continue to come back. So I'll just respond that way for him. And it's in their court, you know. So this one says, so that one, I think that's the one we were looking at a second ago.
Yeah.
Let's try a different one. So that one says not looking just for pictures of home. So stuff like that, I like to dig deeper and say why. You
Right?
know,
Like what prompted you to start looking?
yeah, this okay, no problem stuff. I don't do that. I just spent money. I want to know why you clicked on my ad.
Right.
Not
So, yeah, I was gonna ask another question. So, you take care of creating the workflows for ManyChat for us. Do we
I
have to
do.
do anything with it anymore?
No, all you do is fill out a form and give me the details, and I take care of everything else.
Okay, all right.
So like this one is asking, I don't know if this is an agent or what, but they're asking, they want 3 bedrooms and 2 offices. Which group are you with? I don't know, chat, Facebook Messenger, send your company website. So it's like Messenger, you have to be persistent. When people start things, they're in the middle of things doing 10 other things. So as long as you like keep that in mind, you're in great company. Because I do the same thing. And then they come back and send me a message, you know.
Yeah, I found that often where we would be messaging like really good, going strong, and then they stop for like 6 hours or the next day. And at first I was like, well, damn, I lost them, but I didn't. Like you said, we get busy, they get busy. We're on Messenger. We're messaging when we can.
Yeah. I mean, right now school is closing down, you know.
Yep.
Last day of school tomorrow. So everybody's thinking about that. They're not thinking about this so much. Searching the market to crash. So like that you can go deeper conversation, be like, what makes you think that's gonna happen? You know?
Right. Like, where did you get that from? Zillow?
And then this right here, if they say take me off your list, basically like the automation's done. So it's not gonna reach out again. It's a manual process at this point. So you just put it in done and move on. But that's the good thing is like internet leads have a 3 to 5% conversion rate. This helps you get there faster. So out of every 100, you should get 3 deals. So get there a lot faster this way when you can sort it and not have to wait on a CRM or call or do any of that, if that makes sense for y'all.
Yeah.
So this one right here, they didn't click the button. Or that one. Sold. And others. So, and with this, don't ask 2 questions, just ask one. Because if you ask 2, it's confusing. That's actually what I sent him a message a minute ago. I was like, dude, you asked too many questions. Right here. He asked like 2 questions. I literally did that right before the call, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I remember when I was asking the second question, I thought that was too much. So it's like he had the instinct and he still did it. So, does anybody have any other questions about how messenger ads work?
I have an additional question, and I'm sure it says in the training, but since you're here, so it just keeps asking questions whether they answer or not.
It asks 6. It asks 6 questions because I can only automate for the first 24 hours. And it only really follows up till 8 p.m. It's between 8 and 8 because I don't want to mess with people after that. And I don't want to talk to them before 8. So that's kind of my time period I put on it. But with messenger automation, you have a 24-hour window to automate, and then it's all manual thereafter. So that's where I get the 6 follow-ups in the first 24 hours. But I do it specifically to whatever your listing is. If it's got a pool, I'm asking, do you want a home with a pool? If it's close to parks, do you want a home close to parks? If it's, walking distance to the beach, I ask, are you looking for something like that? So all the questions are around that specific listing feature.
But it'll ask the next question whether they respond or not.
Well, if they respond, it stops. That's tag, you're it. So these are fill in the blank questions, and if they respond, it stops right there. It's your turn. You have to.
Oh, then you engage. Okay, got it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not going to continue to ask questions after they respond. This is just to poke the bear to help you, so you don't have to keep poking at them. Because I found that it's just faster. So you can see, I don't know why that one asked twice. That's weird.
A glitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's technology. Sometimes things happen. But here's the basic questions that you see from that. So I built this one out yesterday, and that's the one that we're looking at. It's a condo, and this is it following up with me. So as I build it out, you'll see me pop up in your messenger, and then you'll see all the stuff go. But basically, this is the last question. And if you see that question and haven't got a response, it's your turn. And you can basically hop in with a selfie video. You can send a voice message. You can just text. But the training over here, humanizing the conversation, gives you a lot of ideas of what to say. And you can use different channels. You can use video, you can use voice, you can use text, whichever one works best for you. I like the voice just because it's different and it's easy. I don't have to type. And then it's like a real voice, you know?
Right. Wendy, you have a question?
Do what?
I said Wendy has a question.
Not really. I just wanted to say that I use his program on all my listings and love it. And there are so many people that you will be chatting with about your listing. Like I have 2 agents on my team that do the messenger because I just can't keep up. That's how many you'll get. So anyway, it's pretty awesome. They've converted a lot of them. And, you know, you get a lot of unsubscribes, you get a lot of stops, but you also get a lot of real people wanting a house. So not necessarily that one, but you'll find them something that they do like. So anyway, it's good stuff.
Well,
I
thank you.
agree. Perfect. Do we have any more questions? We're only 2 minutes over, but any questions before we hop off? And I will have the recording in the group with Chris's info on how to get a hold of him so you can get started with your listings, or if you borrow a listing.
Awesome. Thank y'all for your time. Thanks for the invite, Carrie.
Yes, thank you. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.